بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. جزاك الله خير. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 1st of May 2019, and by the permission of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, we are gathered together in Croydon ICT to continue our series of lectures going through the book Sharhu Shurut al-Salati wa Arkaniha wa Wajibatiha by Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Al-Abbad Hafidhahullah Ta'ala. Ikhwani, who's the author of the book that the Shaykh is explaining? The author of the book that the Shaykh is explaining. رأيتك. Who's the author? نعم.
عبد المحسن العباد.
هو الذي يشرح الكتاب. نعم. هو مؤلف هذا الكتاب. He's the author of this book. لكن what book is he explaining? He's explaining the book شروط الصلاة وأركانها وواجباتها. من الذي ألف هذا الكتاب? Who's the one that authored that book?
شيخ عثيمين.
لا. شيخ محمد ابن عبد الوهاب رحمه الله تعالى. شيخ محمد ابن عبد الوهاب رحمه. أين أخوك؟ الرضوان. He's coming, yeah? Okay. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah ta'ala, he is the one that authored the original book Shurut al-Salati wa Arkaniha wa Wajibatiha, and that book is concise, it's mukhtasar. The explanation of that book was written by Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Al-Abbad Hafidhahullah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and that's what I'm reading from the most part until we finish, all of the when we finish the shurut. We're going to finish the arkan, and then subsequently the wajibat. Then we're going to go into the book by Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullahu ta'ala. Afwan, Sheikh bin Baz, then Sheikh Al-Albani. Now,
Quick point, seeing as we're on this topic of the author. Last week you mentioned Fa'idah from Ibn Uthaymeen. Is that from Sheikh Abdul Muhsin's book that he quoted?
لا, Jazakallah khair. You're talking about the different types of inkar. Inkar, naw'an. Mumtaz, su'al mumtaz. Last week's lesson, I mentioned the different types of al-inkar. Al-inkar, the rejection, or it can sometimes mean criticism, but it's a type of rejection. That fa'idah was from Sheikh Muhammad Al-Uthaymeen in his explanation of Kitab al-Tawheed. Wallahi, أنا نسيت الكتاب اليوم, Allahu al-Musta'an, لكن that fa'idah can be found in that book. Maybe it's under the bab of al-asma'i wa sifat. Maybe next week, inshallah ta'ala, I'll bring the exact page number. Or I'll take a picture and I'll send it on WhatsApp. Either. But for your benefit. Okay, guys, what I want to say is I'm really sorry for coming late today. So, because I'm late, I'm going to get straight in. Unfortunately, we won't have time to do a recap of our last lesson. على كل حال سنبدأ إن شاء الله تعالى. We got up to the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Fatiha, Ar-Rahmanu Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahmanu Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman, أيوة, لكن I was saying Ar-Rahmanu Ar-Rahim, يعني صحيح. Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim في الآية, لكن I was just saying Ar-Rahmanu Ar-Rahim. على كل حال قوله تعالى Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, the bestower of mercy, as it's commonly translated. It begs the question, well, what's the difference between these two names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? From the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ar-Rahman. From the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ar-Rahim. And both of these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicate a attribute. Both of these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicate an attribute. Before I get into the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the attributes that are indicated by the name, a quick question. Kam isman lillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala? How many names does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have? And تقول 99. 99. 99. كم اسما لله تبارك وتعالى؟ 99. شيخ أبو طالب إيش عندك؟ 99.
There's 99, however, there's more names mentioned in the Quran and the Authentic Sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
هل أنت متأكد؟ You sure?
I'm sure.
إيش الدليل طيب؟ Are you gonna go and look for it and bring it next week?
Inshallah.
جيد إيش عندك؟
99 نعرفها وأكثر لا نعرفها.
ممتاز إيش عندك؟ نصو؟ إيش عندك؟ 99. إيش الدليل؟ دليلك أنت؟
ما عندي دليل.
الحمد لله. إيش عندك؟ ما عندك؟ أبو طالب أنت قلت 99. You said 99. وما عندكم دليل؟
Allah has 100 names minus 1.
ممتاز. أكمل الحديث يا طالب الحديث.
My delil is for more than 99 that we don't know.
You said more than 99, right?
Yeah, I believe there's more than.
But the hadith you quoted.
Yeah, you said what's their dalil? I'm giving.
So, you're giving them their dalil. What happens if I said their dalil was your dalil?
Because the hadith, I think it continues to go and mentions after that.
لا.
No.
لا. But what if I said to you their dalil is your dalil? ماذا تقول? Their dalil, the dalil that you gave to them is actually your dalil.
It is because in a way because we said there's 99 that are known to us.
Ah.
Yeah, and that hadith, alludes to that.
Ah.
Like there's other evidence that says that.
No, I'm talking about from that الحديث نفسه. ايش عندك؟
The same question.
أيوة.
Because we said there's 99 we know, and that's a clear hadith to tell us 99 unknown. But there's another hadith to show there's more that we don't know.
أحسنت.
The dua that Prophet
أحسنت. النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم قال لله 99 اسما 100 إلا واحد من أحصاها دخل الجنة. To Allah belongs 99 names, 100 minus 1, 99, emphasizing 99. Whomsoever أحصاها. The meaning of أحصاها here is whomsoever memorizes them, but it's just not a mujarrad al-hifz. You just know, you've got the ability to regurgitate the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La. It means to act in accordance to what each name indicates. So you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-basir. Don't do those things which is going to cause the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you're by yourself, لوحدك. لأن Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يطلع عليك. يعني Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you. Don't start to use words or speak in a fashion that you know that it's going to be displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لماذا؟ لأن الله تبارك وتعالى يسمعك. You understand, guys? So it's not just to memorize the names. من أحصاها دخل الجنة. It means whomsoever memorizes the names and acts in accordance to what each name points to. من أحصاها دخل الجنة. طيب. قد يكون دليلا for you guys. It could be a proof for the people that say there's 99 names. By the way, مسألة اختلافية. Alright, مسألة اختلافية. As it relates to how can it be a dalil for those that say that Allah only has 99 names, because that's the mafhum of the hadith. لله 99 اسما. Allah has, or to Allah belong 99 names. But the other understanding is no. Just because you say to somebody, or you say that somebody has something, it doesn't mean that they don't have anything else. If I were to say, مثلا, I have 1,000 pounds, 1,000 pounds للصدقة, I have 1,000 pounds for charity, does that mean I don't have any more money? Or does that mean I've just reserved 1,000 pounds for sadaqah? I have 100 horses for jihad. Does that mean I don't have no more horses? Do you understand, guys? Anyway, the hadith that you were talking about, which strengthens that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has أكثر من 99 اسما, is the hadith رواه إمام أحمد. لكن اليوم والله كنت أتكلم مع شيخي وقال لي في الحديث مقال. مقال يعني there's not like there's not article. It can mean article, but في الحديث مقال يعني what's the word in English when you say that, you know, it's not just like agreed upon that this hadith is free from any maqal.
Defects. Tafsir, there's more detail.
Kinda, it's not في الحديث مقال, meaning there are some scholars that have spoken against the authenticity of this hadith.
So there's some sayings in it.
Yeah, but we wouldn't say in English or in the hadith there's some sayings. We would say that there's inshallah will come back to me. But you guys understand what I mean?
No.
Alright, this hadith, the one I'm going to mention now, although Imam Ahmed رواه وحتى أظن شيخ الألباني صححه إن مختي, it doesn't mean that خلاص it's 100%. It's not like as if it was collected in the Sahihain. You understand? It's not on that daraja. فيه مقال. There's a rawi in the hadith. فيه مقال. There's it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me.
Anomalous result.
Huh? What do you say?
Anomalous result.
I don't even know what that means. Actually, I'm being honest. I don't even know what that means.
There's a problem in there.
Some scholars say that there's a problem. No, it's not يعني متفق عليه. It's like some scholars say that there's an issue with this hadith. على كل حال, there are those scholars that say it's fine. Anyway, what's the dalil in this hadith? The beginning of the hadith is a dua that we've been taught to make. In the middle of the hadith it says Allahumma inni as'aluka bi kulli ismin huwa lak sammayta bihi nafsak أو أنزلت به في كتابك أو علمت أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن ربيع قلبي الحديث أو كما قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. This dua that we've been taught to make if you are experiencing sadness or anxiety, we can make this dua. Allahumma, oh Allah, inni as'aluka bi kulli ismin huwa lak. I ask you by every single name that belongs to you. Sammayta bihi nafsak, that you have called yourself by this name. Or anzalta fi kitabik, or you have revealed it in your book. Or allamta ahadan min khalqik, or you have taught one of your creation. But the shahid is this line now. Or istatharta bihi fi ilmi al-ghaybi indak, or you've preserved that name in the knowledge of the unseen with you. That one line there. One line there. And that which has been preserved in the knowledge of the unseen, that's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't know about it. So this is a proof for the group that say, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't put a restriction on the amount of names that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, although from those names that we know that He has are 99, كما جاء في الحديث والله أعلم. I'm not here to say either opinion is the right one or the wrong one. It's everybody to look into the adillah and make their own decisions. Jade. So let's move on to what I was speaking to you about before. Tafaddal Habibi. I left my lights on. That's strange. Jade. Left my lights on. Do you mind just opening it and just shut? You can go from the window though, yeah? Just press the bottom one.
Don't jump at me.
The bottom one, then the top one. I don't know why the lights would be on though. Ajib. طيب, as I mentioned at the beginning of the class, Ar-Rahmanu and Ar-Rahim are ismani min asma'illahi tabaraka wa ta'ala. Now guys, as it relates to the asma' Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa sifati, these are what we call tawqifiyya. I've mentioned this word before in the class, right? Tawqifiyya, jade. Now, every single name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicates an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not every single attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicates a name. Have I mentioned that? What does that mean, Sheikh Bilal? Every single name indicates an attribute, but not every single attribute indicates a name. Forgot? No problem. Help your brother out, Habibi.
Thinking is every name is an attribute, but if like sometimes you can't put a name on an attribute.
Fantastic. Excellent. Can you give me an example? Okay, Jade. عندك مثال؟
We can't say Allah is we know Allah descends according to the hadith.
أيوة.
Allah the descendant.
ممتاز. Excellent. Is that what I was going to say? Sorry, you had your hand up. Is that what you were going to
That's
say?
exactly what I'm
Excellent, Jade, Mumtaz. So we're going to move on. I'm going to read what the Shaykh says here. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, War-Rahim. Ismani min asma'i Allahi tabarak wa ta'ala wa huma yadullani ala sifatin min sifatihi wa hiya Ar-Rahma. So the name Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, the most mercy, the bestower of mercy, we're going to learn individually what they mean, but they indicate that Allah has mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being Al-Alim, Taysir, indicates that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being Al-Basir, the all-seeing, indicates that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has what? Sight, al-basar. Alright? Now, sometimes there are some sifat that are similar in wording to the sifat of creation, but different in their haqiqah, their reality. Allah hears, human beings hear. But Shaykh Bilal, is the hearing of Allah like the hearing of the creation? لا ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير كما قال تبارك وتعالى. Nothing is unlike to him, nothing is like him, or nothing is unlike to him. How do they translate that?
Nothing is like him.
Nothing is like him, and he is as-sami'u, the all-hearing, al-basir, the all-seeing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees, but is Allah's sight like the sight of al-creation? La, abad al-creation, I said. Al-makhluq? La, abadan. So just because we may share the name of an attribute of Allah, the reality of the attribute is different. So in reality, it's different. Alright? Just because you have al-ishtirak in a name doesn't mean you're going to have al-ishtirak in the haqiqah of that name. Any questions, guys? J. فيؤخذ من كل اسم من أسمائه صفة من صفاتي والرحمن أعم من الرحيم. The Shaykh says that the word Ar-Rahman, or the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahman, is more general than the word Ar-Rahim, or the name Ar-Rahim. What's the Shaykh talking about? How can Ar-Rahman be more general than Ar-Rahim? Don't they both indicate mercy? What's the difference between the two names?
Is Rahman the most merciful, and Rahim is to be merciful?
Yani the bestower of mercy, but the Shaykh saying Ar-Rahman, the first name, is more a'am, it's more general than Ar-Rahim. Try again.
Because the merciful is more broad.
Exactly how? Ibn Adil. Ashandil. Any bigger word in terms of the amount of letters in the word? What do you mean?
As in the meaning.
Okay, how? That's what we want to get to.
Is Rahim merciful to the believers?
Mumtaz. So, Ar-Rahman?
Ar-Rahman is the possessor of mercy.
Uh-huh.
He has it.
Uh-huh.
كلها.
Uh-huh.
Ar-Rahim is the giver of mercy, and he gives his mercy to the believers. طبعا.
Okay. Jade.
Ar-Rahman is general mercy for everybody.
When you say
All
every...
believers, the whole of creation.
Mumtaz.
Ar-Rahim
Mumtaz.
specifically for the believers.
هكذا هذا قال. This is a قول, sorry. This is an opinion. It says الرحمن أعم من الرحيم وهو لا يطلق إلا على الله تبارك وتعالى. The word Ar-Rahman is not to be used with anybody other than Allah تبارك وتعالى, and it is more general than the word Ar-Rahim. Let's see what the Shaykh says as to why. فلا يقال لغيره رحمن. It's not permissible to call anyone Rahman. Rahman. However, it's permissible to call somebody Rahim. Remember I said there's certain names or sifat of Allah, names of Allah, sorry, I mentioned about the sifat. But there are certain names that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has that is also permissible to use on creation if we have a dalil. And we're going to mention the dalil in a minute. And this is very important because sometimes, people play with the names of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, whether they change Muhammad to Mo, or whether they change, for example, Abdullah to Abd. How many growing up in secondary school, everyone had a friend called Abdi. Everyone had a friend or knew somebody called Abdi. It's typically used in the Somalian culture, right? But Abdi is what? Abdullah, abbreviated and then distorted. Alright? Now, so there are certain names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the first fa'idah, first benefit. There's certain names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are not to be used on anybody other than Him, tabaraka wa ta'ala. And then there are certain names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is permissible to use on creation if we have a dalil. فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى عن نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about His Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam in Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 126 or 128. For those that want to write it down, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Indeed, there has come to you a messenger from among yourselves. عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ. How do they translate that? It hurts, it harms, or it saddens him. عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ. What you guys do. حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. And He is over the believers Ra'uf, Rahim. Gentle, Rahim, merciful. The الشاهد هنا Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وصف محمدا صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم برحيم. قال رحيم. Any questions so far as it relates to the names and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those names that is permissible to use with Allah and creation, and those names that is only permissible to use with Allah?
Say how this ayah is a dalil.
Oh, get Mumtaz, you want me to repeat it? Okay, the question is, can I repeat how this ayah in Surah At-Tawbah is used as a dalil for certain names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being used on creation? And the shahid here, akhi, is at the end of the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as being Rahim. Rahim. Because Rahim is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people may say, okay, but it doesn't have al at the beginning, meaning the most merciful or the bestower of mercy. But that's not entirely true, because let's say, mathalan, I wanted to say, I'm speaking in Arabic now, and I wanted to say, I think I mentioned this last lesson, if I'm not mistaken. I did, right? I did, yeah. رَجُلٌ كَرِيمٌ فِي الْمَسْجِدِ الرَّجُلُ الْكَرِيمُ الَّذِي خَرَجَ مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ قَدْ مَاتَ. The generous man that just left from the masjid died. You understand? Here I said Al-Kareem. I said I chose Al-Kareem here. Why? Because I said Ar-Rajul is ma'rifah. So when you're describing a noun, a sifa wal mawsuf or an-na'at wal man'ut, when you're describing a noun with an adjective, it has to have agreement in certain features, if you like. And from those features is, if the noun is ma'rifah, definite, then the adjective also has to be definite. Tafaddal ya Muhammad Dawood.
I've got a relative back home.
Mm.
His name is Rahmani.
Allahu Akbar. Is it somebody's banging, akhi?
What's the ayah number?
128. Surah At-Tawbah 128. 128. His name's Rahmani.
No,
Yeah.
Is that?
Give him advice, akhi. But it's going to be so. I mean, do you know, how old is he?
He's Sheikh.
It's deep. Shukran, that's deep.
But it's not Rahman, it's Rahmani.
I mean, I suppose like Abdi, right?
No, but يعني يا النسب.
Yeah, Nasab.
Like, you know, like مثلا Wahhabi.
I mean, I don't know that that's permissible, akhi. I don't know. هنا يقول الشيخ وهو لا يطلق إلا على الله فلا يقال لغيره رحمن. I know you're saying Rahmani. Well, I don't know. I stop where the text tells me to stop. Somebody else had a question?
This would be the same case for heard the name Abdul Nabi. Is this
Abdul
Nabi?
Yeah, I've never heard that to be permissible. The question here reads, so does that mean you cannot name someone Abdul Rahman? La, quite the opposite. Jazakallahu khair, first of all, sister, for the question, but quite the opposite. Anytime you put Abd in front of any of the names of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, Abdul Rahman, Abdul Rahim, Abdul Kareem, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Anytime you put Abd in front of any of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's permissible, because that's what we are in essence. We are slaves or servants of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. The issue here now, sister, is just calling somebody Rahman. Alright, calling him Rahman or Ar-Rahman. That's not permissible. Or even to call somebody by himself Ar-Rahim is not permissible. But if you're calling him Rahim, this person is Rahim because you're describing him, ma fi mushkila. Or you call him Ar-Rahim because you're describing, for example, somebody that's definite in the Arabic language, then that's permissible. But it's not permissible for somebody to now say Ar-Rajulu Ar-Rahman. Abadan. Abadan. You can say Ar-Rajulu Ar-Rahim, the merciful man, Ar-Rajulu Al-Kareem, the noble or the kind or generous man. But then we have to know that there are some names that cannot be used with creation under any circumstances. So the next question will be, well, how do we know what names can be used and how do we know what names can't be used? That comes with studying, and that comes with asking the people of knowledge if you are in doubt. Did you have a question, Habibi? Or you asked one already? You had the question, didn't you? Okay, Jay. So we good now with the asma of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sifati of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So much more can be said, but obviously time constraints, and as one of my dear beloved respected brothers pointed out last week, he couldn't see the connection between what we was discussing and the Prophet's prayer described. La usammihi, I won't mention his name, so I don't want to go too much because it might start to become a lesson of Tawheed, talking about the asma of Allah, sifati. You with me? What do you think? What you say?
And then some brothers won't know the connection, isn't
Rahimahullah.
Yeah, you are. Rahimahullah.
it? You say Hafidullah for the brother, please.
ويحفظه أيضا. طيب ثم بعد ذلك الله سبحانه وتعالى يقول مالك يوم الدين. مالك يوم الدين. Here we have a relationship between what we call in the Arabic language al-mudhaf wal-mudhaf ilayh. And the word yawm is playing two roles. From the angle of the language now, guys, we're going into the language now. Why does yawm end in a kasra? It ends in a kasra because it is mudafun ilayhi, so the word malik is the possessor of the malik, right? And it doesn't have al at the beginning. So that means it's also the mudaf to the word that comes after it, which is ad-din. And ad-din is also al-mudafu ilayh. So we've got the word yawmi playing two roles. It's playing al-mudafu ilayh to malik. Anyone that studied Medina Book 1, lesson number 5, this is for you. This is for you here. And then it's playing the mudaf to the word that comes after it, which is ad-din. And the one ad-din ends in a kasra because it is al-mudafu ilay to yawm. Now, ikhwani, think about this. Obviously Allah does what He wants and He says what He wants. And He chose to say Maliki Yawmiddin. Ad-din, Yawmiddin or Yawmuddin is referring to what? Akhi al-Habib? It's referring to al-Islam. Good try. Muhammad, Maliki. Do you know what Maliki Yawmiddin means? First, interesting. Taysir. Do you know what Maliki Yawmiddin? Okay, I want to digress ever so slightly, right? Advice to especially the young brothers. The greatest surah in the Quran is what? How many times do you read Surah Al-Fatiha in a day? 17, very close. As it relates to Surah Al-Fatiha, we know that كما جاء في الحديث Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the hadith قدسي قسمت الصلاة بيني وبين عبدي نصفين ولعبد ما سأل إذا قال العبد الحمد لله رب العالمين قال الله عز وجل حمدني عبدي. I mentioned this hadith last week. Jade, Habibi, Anta. We know the first part of the hadith, the abd is doing what? The first part of Al-Fatiha, my bad. The first part of Al-Fatiha, the servant or the Muslim that's reading these ayat, he's doing what? He's speaking to Allah, he's having a conversation with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We have to get spiritual now, yeah? He's speaking to Allah, he's having a conversation with Allah and he's asking Allah he's praising Him. Alright, he's praising Him and he's just extolling his magnificence. And the second part of Al-Fatiha is what? Aywa. So it's the slave now asking Allah for something. After you've praised Allah and you've glorified Him as He deserves to be glorified, now we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our hajat, our needs, guidance, keep us on the straight path, don't misguide us and don't be angry with us. This is what we're asking, right? So it's imperative. Ibn Adil, Taysir, Bilal, ما اسمك؟ عمران. Inshallah, لا أنسى بعد يومنا هذا. Inshallah, لا أنسى. It's so important that we know what we're saying. If we don't understand no other surah in the Quran, at least understand Surah Al-Fatiha. Why? لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بفاتحة الكتاب. It's permissible just to read Fatiha in your salah and keep it moving. Not saying I'm encouraging you guys to do that, but at least understand what you're saying. Every single word you should understand. And then for the brothers that are older, you should be able to grammatically break down each word in a sentence, such that if you were to read Fatiha without no harakat, you would know each vowel. Not because you're just used to reciting it, but you know, alright, this is the mudaf, this mudaf ilayh, it's harfu jar, it's a majroor, stuff like that. You with me? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there because there's an alaqa when we come to iyyaka na'bud wa iyyaka nasta'in, which is muhimmatun or muhim jiddan. Ala kulli halin, Maliki Yawmiddin ikhwani means the king or the owner of the day of judgment. Yani Yawmiddin. Yawmiddin is translated as the day of judgment. Yawmiddin is one of the names of the last day. Yawm al-Qiyamah. You said Yawm al-Qiyamah? It's one of the names of the last day. Like we mentioned last week, Surah Al-Fatiha has many other names. Al-Wafiyah, As-Salah, As-Sab' al-Mathani, Al-Quran al-Azim, Al-Kitab, Al-Quran. Likewise, the Day of Judgment also has many different names, right? My question to you is this. Why do you think, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the king of the last day, and we also know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the king of the dunya. أليس كذلك? Why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say Maliki Yawm al-Dunya?
Why did he?
Maliki Yawm al-Dunya. Maliki al-Dunya. Maliki al-Dunya. Why did he specify الدين يوم الدين وليس الدنيا؟ أنا أخشى لو سألتك أنت ستجيب وخلاص نمشي والدرس is going to be boring. I want to ask somebody that I think, you know, Sheikh. Oh, is he Sheikh Ibrahim? Okay. What do you think, Akhi? Why do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specified the king of the last day or day of judgment, however you want to translate it, and he didn't say the king of this world? Because we know what the last day is, right? The day that where everyone's going to be rewarded or subsequently punished for their actions. إن كان خيرا فخير, إن كان شرا فشر. If you've done good, you're going to get good. If you did bad, you're going to be given bad. We know that nobody has the ability to harm, benefit anyone on that day. وما أدراك ما يوم الدين. وما أدراك ما يوم الدين. ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين. يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ إيش الجواب؟ إيش عندك؟ أيوة.
I'd say Yawm al-Din because it encompasses not just the dunya, it's everything. It's the whole creation. He's the owner of the whole creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in between.
G.
I've got something else.
You have to wait your turn now, bro. So you have to go around. تفضل.
From what I studied before,
جيد.
people in this dunya like Fir'aun can claim
Allahu Akbar.
that they're the king in this
جميل.
dunya, but in
جميل.
the akhirah no one can even
وقد قال
أنا ربكم الأعلى.
أيوة وقد قال.
In the akhirah, خلاص, they can't even claim that. So Allah is making it clear that on that day, He's the Malik.
هكذا. Was you going to say the same thing?
No.
Okay, what are you going to say? Shall we?
Sorry.
No. you might throw in the benefit that we just went over our heads.
No, because on that day, the dunya won't exist. It's going to be rolled up and things like that.
Okay.
So there won't be no dunya anymore. So
I mean, you may be right. Allah knows best. Stay down. But alhamdulillah, what he mentioned is what the Shaykh mentioned here. I'll read what the Shaykh says. He said, Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala maliku kulli shay'in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala maliku kulli shay'in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the king of everything, the owner of everything. Wa huwa maliku dunya wal akhirah. Antum ma'i? You guys understand? What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to read some, just going to keep it in Arabic. If it's words like malik, dunya, al-akhirah, لا يحتاج إلى ترجمة, صح? Don't need it. If you don't understand it, you guys got to tell me. Yeah? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala مالك كل شيء. هو مالك الدنيا وهو مالك الآخرة. وإنما خص يوم الدين هنا بأن الله مالك. لماذا؟ لأنه اليوم الذي يخضع فيه خلائق لرب العالمين. الله أكبر. وهذا بخلاف الدنيا فإنه وجد فيها من عتى وتجبر وقال أنا ربكم الأعلى وقال ما علمت لكم من إله غيري. Kalam man? Fir'aun. Kalam man? Fir'aun. I'll repeat it again, no worries. Why did Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala specifically specify that He is the king, the owner of the last day? Because He is the king of the last day. And it is a day wherein yakhda'u, the word yakhda'u, ya kha dad ain, yakhda'u, it means to submit or surrender. It's a day that yakhda'u fihi al-khala'iq. All of creation will surrender and submit to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of the worlds. وَهَذَا بِخِلَافِ الدُّنْيَا. And this is contrary, yani in opposition to what happens in the dunya. فَإِنَّهُ وُجِدَ فِيهَا. Because in the dunya you find, or it is found, مَنْ عَتَى وَتَجَبَّرَ. Those who are arrogant. In the dunya you find those people that are so arrogant, to the point that Fir'aun said in the Quran, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى وَمَا عَلِمْتُ لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَهٍ غَيْرِي. I haven't taught you that you have another God besides me. Just think about that for 1 second, Ikhwan. You have to be so up yourself to think that, you are not even أَنَا رَبُّكُمْ أَنَا رَبُّكُمْ الْأَعْلَى. I am your Lord, the Most High. You with me? He was so full of himself, and he had probably so much power that he believed that he was the Most High Lord. Allahu al-Musta'an. Ala kulli halin, on that day, Yawm ad-Din, nobody can make that claim and say, Ana Rabbukum al-A'la. But in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed people, in His infinite wisdom, to make that claim. So this is why, according to the Shaykh, Yawm ad-Din has been specified in Surah Al-Fatiha. So if you're asked, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specify that He's the Malik of Yawm ad-Din and not ad-Dunya? It's because on that day, يَخْدَعُ فِيهِ الْخَلَائِقِ. All of creation will submit to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, Rabbil Alameen. وَهَذَا بِخِلَافِ الدُّنْيَا. Contrary, or in opposition to the dunya, wherein you'll find people that are so arrogant, like the Fir'aun who said, أَنَا رَبُّكُمْ الْأَعْلَى. طيب, where's Abu Sumayya? This is Akhi. If you're about, Akhi, come back to the class. You're wanted. Alright, then we move on to the saying of the Prophet, the saying of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدْ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. For those of you that are attending the 40 Hadith class, Hadith number 19, if I'm not mistaken. Hadith number 19 is a long hadith. احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاك. نعم. فإذا سألت, then the Prophet ﷺ said, let me translate. Preserve, be mindful of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and He will protect you. Protect the limits and the boundaries set by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and He will protect you. احفظ الله تجده تجاك. في رواية أخرى أمامك. That means this is an example of a hadith explaining a hadith. A word in a hadith that may not be clear is explained by another hadith. Another narration of the same hadith, Another narration of the same hadith. The word tujak means amamak. So be mindful, preserve the limits of Allah, and you'll find Him in front of you. What does it mean that you'll find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in front of you?
You'll find His help and His aid.
You help His help, His aid, and His assistance in your times of need. And then it says, فَإِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. Al-Hadith. Here, we're worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for aid and assistance. Now, when you're saying إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدْ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ, this is like a contract between the slave and Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The first part is a contract between us and Allah, that we will not worship anybody other than you, Ya Allah. And the second part is a contract between the servant and Allah, that we will not ask for help from anybody else apart from you. طيب. We won't worship anybody other than Allah, is clear. Every single Muslim, male, female, young, old, knows that we don't worship anybody other than Allah. But the second part, إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ, Imran, it might cause somebody some confusion. Why is it that we say in the Fatiha, إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ, to you alone do we ask for help? When in reality, human beings ask for help from other human beings on a daily basis. There's not a single person here, except that at some stage in his life, he's asked somebody for help. How do we understand this? Yeah. You had another question?
You know in Hadith 19,
Mm-hmm.
it says, ask Allah for help if He is the only one who can help you.
Okay, that's not what it says in the hadith, but that's the meaning. That's the you basically answered the question in your own way. Everybody, every single human being at some stage in their life asks another member of creation. Could you hear me, by the way, when you was where you were? Okay. This is the part that I was speaking to you about. تقديم المفعول على الفعل والفاعل. We're going to get to it, inshallah ta'ala. Everybody's asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something, another member of creation for something in the past. So the meaning here isn't just you are not allowed to ask anybody other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What the intended meaning is, Imran, Bashir, Bilal, we are not allowed to ask any member of creation for anything that they're unable to offer or provide. You're only allowed to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those things that human beings, you're only allowed to ask human beings for those things which they are able to help you in. Those things which a human being is unable to aid and assist you in, it's impermissible to ask that human being for that particular thing. And if we do, then we will fall into shirk billahi tabaraka wa ta'ala. So it must be understood, it's permissible to ask human beings for things, but only in those matters that they are able to help, aid, and assist us in. Is that clear, guys? Tayyib. We're going to go into a bit of grammar now, which might be a bit much for some, but not for others. In this ayah, we say Iyaka na'bud. Then we say Iyaka nasta'een, which translates as to you alone we worship. To you alone we ask for help. The asl, ya Aba Sumayya, the asl in the Arabic language would be to have the verb, fi'l wa fa'il first, the object, the maf'ul bih. Alright, so it would be na'budu iyaka, nasta'inu iyaka. In alhamdulillahi, what do we say? Nahmaduhu, verb, wa nasta'inuhu, wa nastaghfiru, to the rest of it. Here, we've got an example of what we call the maf'ul bihi coming at the beginning of the sentence or beginning of the ayah, and then the fi'l wal fa'il come in afterwards. Now, one of the benefits of this that the ulama mention is al-hasr. You're restricting, you're saying, by doing this delicate, it seems like it's a minor change, just moving one word from there to there. But in reality, the meaning now means you cannot, in the Arabic language, say, Iyaka na'bud, we worship you, and we worship Baba Fulan wa Fulan wa Fulan. However, if you said na'budu iyaka, you could follow on. But making the maf'ul bihi in front of the fi'l wal fa'il, it now to feed al-hasr. That's it. We worship Allah alone. We ask for help from Allah alone. Obviously with the understanding in those things which only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can help us with. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? Surah Al-Dhariyat, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ مَاذَا? إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And this is the purpose of our creation. Somebody had a question?
Could it be in the Arabic language, is there anything that, for example, that the iyaka could come first because it's the importance, showing the importance that Allah comes first?
Iyaka does come first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Could it be a reason because it's Allah, iyaka is the importance of Allah, it comes first before the and does the Arabic language have anything like that?
I mean, I've never heard. I've never heard anything like that because there are examples where Allah comes afterwards, but here specifically to emphasize the pureness of at-tawheed and the fact that we don't ask or worship or ask for help from anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This eloquency has been applied, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Su'al? Muhammad, elek su'al?
No, I'm looking at another ayah.
Okay, Jay. Alright. Now, by the way, guys, ما تعريف العبادة? We know that we've been created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فعلينا أن نعرف تعريف العبادة. We must know what the definition of al-ibadah is. We know what it means. It means worship. I don't want the translation. I want what is the definition. How do the scholars define al-ibadah? أيوة شرعي المعنى شرعا. أيوة.
Anything that Allah loves or is pleased with from the actions or statements of a servant, whether it be hidden or apparent.
ممتاز. يقول العلماء العبادة هي اسم جامع لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه من قول أو فعل باطن أو ظاهر. One more time. The definition of al-ibadah is ismun. It's an ism which is jami'. It's an ism which is jami', which is a comprehensive noun. It's a comprehensive noun or a comprehensive term, comprehensive word, whatever you want to say. What does this word include? Ism jami' لكل ما يحبه لكل ما يحبه, for everything that يحبه Allah. Every single thing that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala loves is included in ibadah. Not only that which He loves, وَيَرْضَاهُ, and is pleased with. Ism جامع لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه. Everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, ويرضاه, and is pleased with. From what things? من قول, from statements. وفعل, and actions. من قول, from statements. وفعل, and actions. باطن or ظاهر, يعني apparent, وباطن, and hidden. So anything that you do, and anything that you say, and anything that you make apparent, and anything that you hide is considered to be worship. It's considered to be worship. Don't forget what you're going to say, yeah?
Did you say batin first or zahir?
The first time I said batin or zahir, then when I mentioned it again, I think it's zahir or batin. And ala kulli hal, it's not nothing that is like it's not like a hadith.
No.
You have to say verbatim. But it's better to say apparent and hidden. It doesn't matter though, and Allah knows best. But ala kulli halin, what's the question now? No, but my phone's mashing up again. What was the question, guys?
You're asking the ma'na of ibadah.
No, we done that. We done the ma'na al-ibadah. Then I said,
من قول وفعل.
aywa, that's it. So there's certain actions that we do that are apparent. Alright? As-salah, al-jihad, what else is apparent? Hajj, mumtaz, Hajj. Siyam is hidden. It's something that's, and nobody knows that. Remember that one of the reasons why as-sawm is Allah rewards for it, because nobody truly knows when a person is fasting. It's something that is so sincere between the. And remember, it's not only the body that fasts. It's not only the body that fasts. And we have a fast that is time restricted to Ramadan, but we also have a siyam which is da'im, which is the fasting of الذنوب والمعاصي, يعني staying away from الذنوب والمعاصي. لكن إيش كنت تقول؟ Zakat again. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's an example of an apparent action. But as it relates to al-khawf, what tawakkul, all right, what du'a, these things here, fear, something that happens internally, hope, ar-raja, internal, at-tawakkul, internal. These are worship. These are things that are considered worship. All right, that's very much so. They're very much spiritual. So these are things that are considered to be worship. However, now, if you want that worship to be accepted by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, then as we all know, that particular statement, action, whether it's hidden or apparent, has to be in what? In conformity with the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And we've mentioned the dalil for that so many times before. Alright, we mentioned the dalil for that so many times before. So it's not permissible, in other words, taysir, it's not permissible for you now to say, alright, I'm going to think of an action that I think Allah will love it and He will be pleased with it. Right? And it comes under something that's apparent, or it might be hidden. It might be a statement of the tongue or an action of the limbs. But I think Allah will love it. So I'm going to do it because it's worship. Would that be accepted, Akhi? Why?
Because it's not in accordance with the Sunnah.
It's not in accordance with the Sunnah. So it's not enough or any one of us to say, you know what, I think Allah will like this action, or I think Allah will like this saying, if it hasn't been mentioned in the authentic sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, or in the Quran, or the authentic sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Na'am, tafaddi ya Muhammad.
I've heard another definition for ibadah, if there is one.
Bismillah.
Shed some clarity on it. Something along the lines of any naf'un ghaybi, that's so any hidden benefit that you seek, and from the ghaib, then anything you do in that sense is considered worship.
I haven't heard that. Who gave that definition?
One talib that I know of,
Okay.
he said, I forgot the alim he mentioned who said it,
Mm.
but he said this is a definition as well, but he said other ulama they use another, which is that.
Possibly so. I mean, I personally haven't heard it, so I couldn't speak on it. But I mean, quite possibly so, because oftentimes, when it comes to definition, sorry guys, when it comes to definitions, it's not just rigid. You might have, even now when it comes to tafsir, a tafsir of an ayah or a tafsir in a word, which we're gonna come across soon. It's not restricted to. It just means that, and there's no wiggle room. Sometimes you can have what we call in Arabic ikhtilaf at-tanawwu'. Anybody heard this term before? Ikhtilaf at-tanawwu'. You heard it?
I've not heard the phrase.
Ikhtilaf at-tanawwu'. You probably heard the individual words, right? But as it relates to the tafsir of the Quran, right? Explaining the Quran. Obviously, where do we get our explanation of the Quran? From the companions. Alright, we get the explanation of the Quran from the companions. Now there's some ayat, or there are some words in the Quran where different companions describe this particular word to mean certain things. Alright? وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ مَثَلًا. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ, and cling, hold firmly to the habl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somebody must say, okay, what's the meaning of habl? Does it literally mean like a rope? Habl means rope in the language. Habl is a rope. But how can I hold on to the rope? Does Allah have a rope? What's the meaning? Some people say it's the Quran. Some people say it's Al-Islam. Some people say it's this. Some people say it. When I say some people, some of the Salaf. But at the end of the day, whilst they have different names, the meaning's one. Whether you say the habl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Islam, or whether you say the habl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Sunnah, or it is following the Messenger, or whatever it is, it's all one. This would be considered as ikhtilaf at-tanawwu'. Yani, I don't even know the best way to translate ikhtilaf at-tanawwu'.
Where like it's different opinion, but you can make ijma' with it.
I wouldn't say ijma'. I would say that it's different wordings, but they indicate the same meaning. Different wordings, but they indicate the same meaning.
Differing in category. The way they categorize it is different.
No, I wouldn't say it's not so much category. It's just the meaning. It's the meaning. Sorry, the meaning is the same, but the words are different. اختلاف التنوع الألفاظ المختلفة لكن هناك الاتحاد في المعنى. The opposite of اختلاف التنوع is اختلاف التضاد, whereby the words are different and the meanings are different. And the majority of the tafsir of the Salaf is from the first category I mentioned, اختلاف التنوع. اختلاف التنوع. So we're going to come to that in a minute, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. Then Allah tabarak wa ta'ala says, this is it now actually, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. شوف هنا يا أبو سمية. Look at this ayah in comparison to the ayah before it. Here, اهدنا, guide us. فعل أمر. But the fi'l amr, the command form of the verb, doesn't always necessitate a command. We learned in our last lesson the other day, اسمه أيوة ممتاز فاصنع ما شئت. The command form can mean that something's an obligation. The command form can mean something's recommended. The command form of the verb can be used to say stay away from something. Alright? In a strange way. Here, the command form of the verb is being used as a talab, a request. When you say to Allah, ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, you're not ordering Allah to guide you to the right path, are you? La yumkin, abadan. What we're doing, we're requesting. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. We're requesting Allah, oh Allah, please guide us, is the meaning. We have to have al-adab wal-ihtiram ma'a Allahi tabaraka wa ta'ala. So we say, ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Here, Aba Sumayya, ihdi is the fi'l amr. Alright? Ihdi, guide us. So the person that's obviously speaking, that's the fa'il. Who's he speaking to? He's speaking to Allah. Ihdina is the people, yourself, and you're asking for others to be guided. Those are the people that are being guided. The object. Some verbs have some verbs don't have no object, some verbs have one object, some verbs have two objects. Alright? We'll learn that inshallah ta'ala once we start doing Arabic. But look at the word sirata and al-mustaqima. The straight path. This is the second object. What are we asking? Who are we asking Allah to guide? We're asking Allah to guide us. What are we asking Allah to guide us to? The straight path. This is why as-sirata has a fatha above it. This is why as-sirata has a fatha above it, and al-mustaqim is describing as-sirat. This is why they have they're both masculine, and they both end in a fatha. Remember I said before, in the previous ayah, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدْ, we had the maf'ul, the object at the beginning. Here is the other way around. J. فَمَعَنَا إِهْدِنَا اكتبوا يا إخوان. The meaning of إهدنا means دُلُّنَا وَأَرْشِدْنَا وَثَبِّتْنَا. دُلُّنَا وَأَرْشِدْنَا وَثَبِّتْنَا. The meaning of إهدنا, when we say إهدنا in the Quran, it means دُلُّنَا, direct us, وَأَرْشِدْنَا, and guide us, وَثَبِّتْنَا, and allow us to be firm and upright. That's what إهدنا means. الصراط يقال اهدنا بمعنى دلنا وأرشدنا. اهدنا بمعنى دلنا وأرشدنا وثبتنا.
In English?
دلنا يعني direct us, أرشدنا guide us, وثبتنا keep us firm on the path. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says الصراط الصراط. قيل المعنى الصراط الإسلام كما قال الشيخ هنا. It's said that the meaning of الصراط is الإسلام. وقيل الرسول, the messenger. Keep us, direct us to the messenger. Guide us to the messenger, i.e. النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. وقيل الصراط بمعنى القرآن. So we've got الإسلام, الرسول, and القرآن. وكل حق. This is the kalam of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. If you guys can see what I'm reading, you will see that the bold is from the Sheikh Muhammad, and then the explanation is in an unbold font, and that is Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, wa rahimahullah, the Sheikh Muhammad. Ala kulli halin, he explains the word as-sirat to mean three different things. Number one, ماذا? Al-Islam. Number two, Al-Rasul. Number three, Al-Quran. This is the meaning of, these are the meanings of As-Sirat according to the Shaykh. And then the Shaykh says, Al-Kullu Haqqun. All of them are right. This is from Al-Ikhtilaf At-Tanawwu' or Ikhtilaf At-Tanawwu'.
I understand it in Islam and Quran.
Guide us to the messenger, the way of the messenger. Now, he says, Al-Kullu Haqqun. All of these meanings, Al-Islam, Al-Rasul, Al-Quran, they're all right. They're all true. الكل حق والمستقيم الذي لا عوج فيه. The meaning of al-mustaqim is that which there's no crookedness in it, i.e. the straight path. Mumtaz. Jade. Remember what I said about ikhtilaf at-tanawwu'? Different wordings, but it has the same meaning. Whether we intend al-Islam, didn't the Prophet ﷺ follow al-Islam? Or whether we mean al-Quran, doesn't the Quran teach us al-Islam and to follow the Prophet? They all mean the same thing. It's just ikhtilaf at-tanawwu', different wordings, but they indicate the same meaning. And listen to what the Shaykh says here, because this, for me, I had to highlight it. It was profound. يقول الشيخ عبد المحسن يقول حاجة العباد إلى Is it too loud? Sorry, I can't carry it away. حاجة العباد إلى الهداية إلى الصراط المستقيم فوق كل حاجة وضرورتهم إليها فوق كل ضرورة وحاجتهم إليها أعظم من حاجتهم إلى الطعام والشراب لأن الطعام والشراب سبب بقائهم في هذه الحياة الدنيا وأما هدايتهم الصراط المستقيم فهي سبب فلاحهم وسعادتهم في الدنيا والآخرة. كلام جميل جدا. فهمت أنت؟ أنت فهمت؟ أبو طالب فهمت؟ أين الطالب اليوم؟ مشغول. أوكي خلاص سلم عليه. The Sheikh says here the haja of the servants, the needs, the requirements of the servants, us, إلى الهداية إلى الصراط المستقيم, to be guided to the straight path, فوق كل حاجة, is above every single need that we will need. You know, every single need that we will need is not as important as our need to be guided to the straight path. وضرورتهم, and their necessity إليها فوق كل ضرورة, and the necessity to be guided to the straight path is more important than any other necessity. And then the Shaykh says something jameel.